We have a list of users that has been maintained in a remote server, right? We want to be able to delete, create new ones. How about edit, right? Or update or manipulate some of this information. So for instance, we like to be able to have like an edit button maybe, right? So let's add an edit button next to each one of these. And let's do that in the render, right? In our render, we have our delete button. Let's create an edit button, right? So const edit button. And so it looks very much like this. So I'm just going to copy it. So this is going to be edit button, edit, and this is going to say edit. And the edit button, I'm going to pass the u here, the index, to some edit user function that doesn't exist. So let's create the edit function here, const, that takes as argument the index of the user. Right. Notice that one parameter, the parentheses are optional. All right. So I have the index. I can fetch the user that you want to edit. Right. I can say const user will be user sub index, so that I can know the ID. Right. The underscore ID is user dot underscore ID. Right. And I can do console log ID. Yes? All right, so let's see if that works. Let's see if this blows up. Let's refresh. And we don't have the delete, edit button. What happened? Oh, we never added it. We never added it. So let's append it with the edit button, the edit button. Let's refresh. So now if we click on delete, we'll go to the console. Right, notice that I'm editing that person. Edit, 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 right? So what we need to do, right, is go fetch that user, from the server, which is going to have a whole bunch of fields, right? And we're going to copy into our local form. Well, we'll update a form. Maybe it might be a form that has 20 fields or whatever, right? Here we only have one field. We'll go fetch the user from the server. We'll update our form so that then you can update. Say, I don't like that username. I can change it to be something else. Okay. All right. So let's do that. All right. So to do that, right, the assignment asks you to implement find user by ID, right, which we did implement. We tested it, right? We have find user by ID. There it is, right? You just need to pass me the ID, right? So let's implement that in the here in the find user by ID. We can implement that very quickly by, it looks very similar to this, right? Find all users. The only difference is that you need to pass me the ID, right? I'm passing you the ID. So the URL looks like this. So I'm just going to copy that URL. I'm going to replace it. There it is. I'm passing you the ID. I'm parsing the JSON object, and I'm passing you that object, right? That it maps to that ID. Excellent. So in the edit, I can now call this user service dot find user by ID, and I can pass you the ID. It's going to come back as the actual user. And I can do console log the user. Let's see if it works. Let's see if this blows up. Let's refresh. And so if I click on Dan, notice that indeed the object is coming back. There's Dan. See that? And there's ASDF and Bob and Alice and Craig. I'm fetching all these objects from the server. Yes? Right? So to let you edit, I'm going to update my form. However you want to do it. Maybe you want to pop up an alert box with a whole bunch of like a dialogue if you want, or if you want to get fancy, maybe replace this text with an actual input field where you can type. You can get as fancy as you want. I think the easiest thing is to just reuse this form field here. All right, that's the easiest thing. So we can do that. We can say, now that I have the user, I can update my user field. The value, I can set it to the user.username that came back from my server. Right? If I refresh, if I click on edit, notice it becomes Dan over here. See that? Or Bob or Alice or Craig, and I can go back and change them. Right? So instead of Alice, maybe I want to change it to Alicia. Right? And then there will be some update button that would allow you to send that new information back to the server for update. Make sense? All right. All right, so we have the find by ID. How about add an update button, right? Let's do that.